Okay, we good? Okay, everyone hear me okay? Brilliant. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, first of all, for coming to our session today. If you're not here to understand about how you could modernize your business applications with mixed reality, then you're in the wrong session. So just a quick check. My name is Anna Waite, and I recently took a role within Microsoft as our global workload lead for mixed reality applications. And essentially what that means is I look after product visualize, remote assist, layout, and guides, so our 4 first-party Dynamics MR apps. And my role is really to ensure our customer success. Before I hand over to Marcio, I just wanted to have a quick pulse check in the room, if we don't mind. How many of you guys are Microsoft Dynamics customers? Just quick show of hands. Awesome. Okay, cool. Have we got any partners in the room? Nice. And Microsoft internal employees? Show of hands. Wow, okay, cool. Right, just wanted, and out of interest, how many of you guys have experienced or played with mixed reality apps? Show of hands. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Over to you, Marcio. John,
yes. So my name is Marcio. I'm a global black belt for field service and connected field service, which is a story that goes often together with our mixed reality offer, like empower the first line workers. And yeah, here to assist Anna on this session today. Awesome. And remotely we have Robert Copeland. Let me see if I can make a quick introduction of Robert. See if I can switch the audio to you. Hi, Robert.
Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning, folks. My name is Robert Copeland. I work in ZF's IT innovation team and look forward to talking with you a little later in the session.
Yep. Thanks,
awesome.
Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Right.
Okay, so let's do a quick level check, because I always like to kind of run through what you're about to hear for the next 45 minutes. First of all, we need to do a quick elephant in the room. What is mixed reality? Because we have all this VR and AR and MR and XR. So hopefully I'll try and explain what we mean by mixed reality. Then I'm going to go into sort of why now? Why would you care about mixed reality? Then we'll move into, but how does this align and fit with biz apps? Like, I get MR, and I get the idea of like this sort of consumer gaming industry, but how does this work with my business applications? Then we're going to hand over to Marcio, who's going to talk you through a real-life example of how we've infused mixed reality into an organization's biz apps. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with an interview with Robert. So my idea behind this session is you understand what MR is, you kind of get the value, and it's something you might want to do. Then we give you an example of how we've done it, and then we hear from a customer who's done it themselves. Hopefully that works with everybody. If not, feel free to crack on with your emails. So I'm going to start with a really inspiring quote, which is, if you change the way that you see, if you change the way you see the world, you can change the way you see, well, now I've completely, you can read the quote. And basically, what I found really interesting is Satya launched a book in 2017, Hit Refresh, and he called out 3 technologies, right, as being the sort of next wave of computing. He talked about artificial intelligence, he talked about quantum computing, and then he talked about this thing called mixed reality. But what do we actually mean by mixed reality? And I think this next slide really talks to our understanding of what we mean with mixed reality. So I'm going to map this out for you guys, right? So if we start all the way over here on this end of the spectrum, we have our digital world, and this is completely digital. Now, to view our digital world, we are then in a sort of a virtual reality, and we can use headsets which completely immerse us into a digital scenario, right? Then if we walk all the way down the spectrum, we have our physical world, so where we are today, and we can augment our physical world by putting digital or 3D content into it. And we can have an augmented reality experience across multiple devices like the HoloLens or our iOS, Android devices, and iPads, right? So Microsoft talk about this mixed reality spectrum because we offer services, devices, and applications that span either being completely immersed in a digital world or augmenting your physical world with digital content. So hopefully that kind of dispels the whole MR piece. Now I want to sort of touch on why mixed reality and you know, why now. So the first thing that I think is really important to call out about mixed reality and why I'm so excited about working in this area is that unlike any other technology that I've seen, this is truly about augmenting the human experience. We're not talking about replacing humans with technology. We're talking about providing humans with this sort of superpower and to support the human way of life. So what does it mean to be human? Well, the reality is that being human is around cognition, right? This is what defines us as a human. It's the mental action of processing or acquiring knowledge and understanding through experiences and through the senses. And that's what our mixed reality applications are designed to do. And this is what we want to show you today, is how we can transform a human's experience by providing intelligence, understanding, learning, awareness in a way that somebody couldn't experience that before without the use of devices like the HoloLens and our mixed reality applications. So that's a little bit about what is, and so now I'm going to talk more about the why, right? So there's lots and lots of different reasons why mixed reality is so important now. So I'm going to kind of go through a few scenarios with you. So the first thing to talk about is evolution, right? We completely evolve as humans, as technology. If we go back decades ago, we were working on paper and pen. You'd go and see a customer, and you would present them with a physical brochure of the products that you might sell. Then we started inventing things like computers, and we went from a desktop computer to a laptop. And so then we could sort of send a customer the quote via email or our product catalog by email. Then we moved on to smartphones, and we then had the ability to provide digital content everywhere we went. And now we're in that sort of third wave of computing with mixed reality, multi-sense devices. No longer do we expect to experience things in a 2D scenario, but we want to move to that 3D scenario where we can start to experience digital content in our physical world. So that's one point. So we've got this sort of evolution of computing. Then let's talk about the workforce and how that's changing. So over the coming years, our first-line workers are expected to grow significantly. And it's actually our first-line workers that really benefit for things like mixed reality applications. Those first-line workers are the people that are at the forefront. They are answering our customers' questions. They are on site at a customer trying to resolve an issue. They are on the factory floor trying to build something. And it's these type of workers that require additional support. And this is why mixed reality can really transform the way they do their role today. So a couple of scenarios we can talk about is the way we collaborate, right? By using mixed reality, we can bring our now global teams together to collaborate on either a work document or solving a problem or creating and designing spaces. We can drive efficiencies and quality of work by using digital content to guide somebody through a process. We worked with an organization that took a 240-page manual and we shrinked it down into a 2-step guide. And then finally, one thing I love the most is the ability to empower everyone. Mixed reality provides a way that people can train in a way they weren't able to before. Traditional training methods look at documents and learning in a classroom, but with mixed reality, we can break down the barriers to entry for some people that don't learn in those traditional methods. So hopefully by now you're starting to think, okay, I get what mixed reality is, and I can understand how this might be important for the future. But if you're not, I wanted to sort of call out a couple of scenarios that might relate to your organization. So when we launched HoloLens 1 in 2016, we had tremendous positive feedback. And that we kept hearing the same types of scenarios. We kept hearing, these are the kind of problems that we need you to solve. Please, Microsoft, will you look at applications that will support us in these areas? So when we think about design and prototyping, we worked with a customer who implemented stair lifts. And in order to do that, they would have to go out and do multiple visits to a customer's site. Using the HoloLens and a custom-built app, we were able to reduce those visits from 3 just down to the initial visit and then the installation, whereas it would have taken 3 design visits in between that. when we look at the sales cycle and the consumer expectations, how they've changed, and lots of challenges around how do you move somebody from a design concept into actual build, how do you explain to somebody your entire product catalog, you can't showcase everything in a showroom. So we worked with an organization, and they had a retailer that had a store in New York and stores globally. In the New York store, it's 25% smaller than the other stores, but when they infused mixed reality into their sales cycle, they increased sales by 30%. Marcio's going to share a couple of other examples with us.
Yeah, talking, I guess the two central parts here about training and development and field service are very aligned with our business application for field service, Dynamics. So how many of you actually are familiar with Dynamics business applications, specifically on field service, like just hands out? So these two stories about training and development are strong alignment with our field service story. Like what we're trying to solve with field service is trying to increase the first-time fix rate and empower your first-line worker, like reduce turnover from your workers, for example. We have in some interesting problems like the workers' population are actually getting older, so we are at risk of losing the domain of knowledge in specific tasks, and Guides is a way to retain that knowledge through the time as well. So first time I got in touch with Dynamics for Guides. Guides was focused specific on training, and then we asked internally ourselves and from our customers, we got the signal, so why not use Guides for actually helping you execute that task? So the product team and the engineers make this available immediately, actually. And now we are seeing customers using Guides not only for training, but to actually help them assist on the step-by-step industry. And the remote assist is also another product that specific on field service adds a lot of value when you actually avoid traveling the expert across the world. So I have a customer that I'm working, it's a big manufacturing company, and their problem is they have a few engineers that know how to calibrate those machines, and sometimes they are in Mexico and they have a problem in Singapore, and they need actually to take a flight. It will take them like 2 days at least to get on the other side of the world. And now with remote assist, they can assist remotely someone like a least expensive or least experienced professional on the other side of the world using remote assist. So the story goes tied together with field service. Like now we can relate that remote assist call with the execution of a work order or that specific training steps and be associated with execution of a work order on the field too. And there is more about geospace and planning. I have another story to tell is there was one customer, actually he bought a manufacturing company, he bought a big machine, and on the floor plan of the factory there is those security lines, and with layout, they could visualize that the product was actually invading the security line. So on the old time, they would actually to return that equipment, ask them to change the design of the equipment to fit their floor plan. Now with layout, they actually could visualize that before it happened, before they ship the product, ask the manufacturer to plan the layout of the product, and then when they ship the product, actually fit perfectly on their factory plan. So all goes very tight together for our business application offers too, right? Perfect,
thank you. So with all of these challenges that you've heard around spatial planning and providing remote assistance, Microsoft shipped 4 first-party applications. And the first was remote assist, which looks at solving problems faster, so reducing travel. I don't have to send somebody across the globe to support an engineer. Guides, which is an application that allows you to learn by doing, so providing step-by-step instructions using either physical objects or holographic images, a completely transformative training mechanism. Layout, which is used for our sort of spatial planning, so you can collaborate and build and design factory floors, all using digital content. And then finally, any of you saw the Satya keynote? Hands up. You would have seen product visualized, demonstrated. So the ability to showcase your entire product catalog using holographic images and also change and augment what the notes are, etc. So the reason why I wanted to show these and sort of highlight the fact that we've got these 4 first-party apps is the fact that, as you remember, I started why? Why now? Why do this? Well, this is why, because Microsoft is unique in the fact that it can offer you 4 applications that are plug and play. There is no development requirement here. Previously, if you wanted to get started with mixed reality, you'd have to stand up an entire team, build out some new capabilities, some resources. Now, these are available on the App Store. You can download and install Remote Assist, for example, on the phone that you probably have in your pocket right now. So the time to value is massive. The ROI is massive because there's no huge upfront investment required. The final point I want to touch on around why now is actually it's kind of happening. 87% of our enterprise organizations are already piloting mixed reality. And these are some of our fantastic customers that are working with mixed reality today. So no longer should we perceive mixed reality as, oh, this is a future state. This is definitely now. And you don't want your organization to fall behind. So I would encourage you all, off what you've heard today, to start thinking about how you guys could use mixed reality in your organization. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an understanding as to why now. But then you might be sitting there going, great, okay, I can see mixed reality could change the way I do my job, but actually I don't get how it fits in the context of my business applications, especially for those Dynamics customers sitting there today. So I thought I'd just do a quick run through of this before I hand over to Marcio. So this is our customer sales cycle, right? It's kind of a generic one, and there's a bit of give and take here. But essentially, right, we're going to market something that we want to sell, then hopefully we sell it. Then when we sell it, we need to manufacture that product. Once we've built it, we need to probably install it. And then after that, we're probably going to be providing some service and repair, right? So this actually marries up really nicely to our business applications that we know and love today. You know, you've got sales and marketing, you've got finance and operations, you've got field service and customer service, right? So this is kind of the BizApp suite that gives you that capability of completing the sales cycle. But what if you could change your business applications and infuse them with mixed reality and start to provide a truly modern sales experience for your customers? So when you're selling your products, instead of just sending them marketing collateral like they're used to receiving from other organizations, you could transform that experience for them by allowing them to see the products that you sell in 3D. You can transform your production line. So when you go to produce products, instead of having an engineer sat in a training room for months on end learning how to manufacture your products, you could actually give them a guide that enables them to do it hands-on. Or when we look at the sort of driving a successful installation, we all know how costly installation projects can be. And taking something from design, proof of concept into actual completion can be a lengthy process. But with layout, you reduce some of that risk and reduce some of those costs. And then finally, when we look at that repair and servicing element, if we can maximize our repair success by providing our technicians with a toolkit that will enable them to get the answers they need to resolve a problem there and then. So hopefully this sort of helps you to see how we've transformed that business application platform into a truly modern and unique application that you can then go and deliver a service that your customers would really see as transformative. The final thing I'm going to say before I hand over to Marcio is that, you know, this mixed reality provides us with a completely unique way of providing services. And we've actually started to see that businesses are changing the way they think about their revenue lines. And perhaps in future, we will be going to buy a car. Instead of just buying a car, we receive a HoloLens with it. Or, you know, you go, if you think about manufacturing of those big automotive goods, then that you may actually purchase the good with the HoloLens. And that becomes part of the service offering that you provide to your customers. So let's hear about some real life examples. I'm going to hand over to Marcio for now.
Yep. So I actually have the luxury of being engaged in a few real life scenarios of customers looking for mixed reality solution. And the way we see it is mixed reality is part of our One Microsoft story. Like it's a piece on this large platform puzzle that we had. And we do have our quick wins. I think our 4 mixed reality offer off-the-shelf products like Remote Assist, Guides, Layout, and Product Visualize. They add value without too much customization or a heavy lift in terms of project deployment. Like it's really a quick win that it can be up and running fast. But I was working recently with a customer that they were looking for mixed reality in a way to keep uptime running of one of their specific equipments that I'm going to explain exactly what it is. What we saw is that mixed reality would definitely help them with that quick win, but we also saw opportunities to connect their mixed reality strategy with our other realm of products on our platform. Specific field service and power apps was some big players that they're investing right now. So again, it's mixed reality is part of our ecosystem, so let me dig into this specific scenario. So what we're looking here actually, it's called a rotary car dumper. This is a large mining company, and what this does is actually get iron ore from the trains, get two pieces of the cart, and twisted these two carts into a system of belts under this piece of equipment, and then this will go to a manufacturing industry that will actually change the iron ore or go directly to a ship, to a big ship. So what we learned is this is actually the bottleneck of their production as a mining, and every hour that this equipment is not working costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's exactly the number. Like, it's basically if they can't keep their production flowing, they have like hugest loss for that. So every effort that we add to them to increase the uptime of those machines, it directly affects their revenue. So the challenge over there is they have so many different problems on those equipments. Those are old industrial equipments that they lack of really good documentation at this point. The maintenance on this is inside the brain of the old employees, and they decided to do some investment. So few areas that we saw as investments. So we evaluate the HoloLens as a particular device. We end up getting the conclusion that in many scenarios, the HoloLens is the right device for that specific tasks. In some scenarios, the HoloLens is not the right device, so they still need an application that will provide them step-by-steps, and this is our field service mobile app, Dynamics for Field Service, that has all the step-by-steps, how to complete that task. And when they need help with remote assist, they can use either the HoloLens or their mobile device. The major difference is when you are using the HoloLens, you have two of your hands free. If you are using a mobile device, probably you only have one of the hands. So on that scenario, we start developing a proof of concept that it's actually ongoing right now, a pilot program with them. There's different areas that they want to take advantage immediately with Dynamics Guide, where you're going to be doing a demonstrate. Actually, by the way, if you can reconnect that, because I think it disconnected on my screen. So the scenario that we saw was, that we focused at the first time, was actually the brake of that machine. So I studied this machine before. This was in a different country. And I confess that when I got there, I saw many videos about how a rotary car dumper works. When I was there, I was, wow, this is a very, very large equipment and very complex. It's a lot of old mechanical stuff. But the thing is this breaks, the type of equipment breaks a lot, and they have like hundreds of process to how to fix that in really paper or old Word documents or PDF. So they decided to write step-by-step scenarios with Dynamics guides to help them, in the first scenario, give maintenance on the engine that twists this machine, and specific on the brakes, where something that they need to provide regular inspections on the brakes. We're going to present a demonstration about how Dynamics guides. Actually, how many of you saw Dynamics guides before running the demo? So good, because sorry for you, we're going to see something again that you saw, but for the rest of the room, you're going to have the chance to see guides working for the first time. So in terms of architecture, I'm assuming that here there is a lot of IT folks. So this is what we end up being the component architecture for this specific customer. We are using a full spectrum of Microsoft solution. There is a lot of Azure and machine learning and IoT deployed on this, and we are connecting IoT information with the mixed reality story. But when you look at the right corner, you're going to see that some applications may be intended to be used with the HoloLens. Some of them can be mixed. You can use with the HoloLens or with a mobile application. Some of them are entitled to be used only with a mobile device or a tablet, right? What I would like to highlight on this slide is their mixed reality strategy is supported by Dynamics, specific our CDS. So even custom applications built on their mixed reality are still built on top of our Dynamics platform. So for some scenarios, we may eventually go to that. So are you ready to do a quick demo?
2 seconds.
So let me swing to, the first thing you're going to see is a guides demo.
Can you just give me 1 second?
Yep.
Just give me 1 second, please.
All right. So while she's setting up this,
you have to let me know if I'm going to fall off the back of the stage, by the way.
yeah, don't like.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have sensors behind me.
So actually, that was an interesting conversation. When we were doing this proof of concept with this customer, there was a moment that we actually had to deliver the customer the vision to them. There was a bunch of executives from all areas watching this. And there was one guy from safety and security. He was very interested about how the HoloLens can actually increase or change their security and safety process, right? So he did a trick with us while we were demoing. He asked, we were doing a remote assist session, and he asked someone, can you step down so I can see the equipment better? So the guy wearing the HoloLens just stepped down. He said, like, that's a big no-no. He needs to look back before he can step on their safety security. So something that, adding a device like that, we may need actually to change their safety process to adapt to how to use a new device. I think that makes sense. So let me swap to the HoloLens view. Yep, can we see it? So what we're looking here, it's guides. We are using, what Anna is seeing, she's looking at a digital twin of equipment. But keep in mind that this could be a real equipment, a real piece of machine, and you can overlay holograms on top of their real equipment. But for this demonstration, we're using a digital twin, a copy of your equipment. What you see on the right is a card with basic instructions that she's following. And what is interesting is she doesn't need her hands to go to the next step. Just because she's gazing and looking at that dot, by the way, is basically her cursor, she can move to the next card by just looking. So the lines that we see here is basically, we can attach, the card is attached to these specific instructions, but we can have lines added guiding them where to look. In this case, the line is telling her, go to the other side so you can see that error on that button. Right. Now, interesting, like we can use different types of holograms to give this instruction. So here we have 2 areas holograms, these 2 like circles, and the numbers saying this is where you need to focus, do not focus on number 1. So you can clearly have adding step-by-step instructions. So now imagine if you could, if this, instead of being a hologram, actually was your real piece of tool, and guides can actually help you to say, this is the right tool that you're going to need to pick up and use to perform your next task, right, for that scenario. And this is the work that she needs to perform on doing that. So keep in mind that on this scenario that we are using here, we are using this for the training purpose. And what we are learning with our numbers is by using guides, so actually, just let me pause on this. We also can add knowledge-based articles on as part of the instructions. So what she's seeing on the left is basically about posture, etc. It's an image. She can also have a video and play the video and show an instructions on how to actually to perform in detail that specific task, right? So the value here on adding guides is you can use those step-by-steps, not only for training, also for an execution of your process on the field. And what we are learning is that by following guides, you are not necessarily, the end result is, you're not going to execute your work faster. I think that's not exactly the goal of guides, is executing your work right. So what guides also has behind the scenes, it's collecting all your telemetry data about every step. So we know how long Anna took to execute each of those steps, and we can compare her performance with the performance of the rest of the people who are being trained on that specific task. So think about that. You have a step-by-step instructions to how to fix an engine. And on each step, on average, you calculate that you need 1 minute. So that total task should take around 10 minutes. So if someone is actually performing their work super faster than the rest of the average of the group, that may be an indication of he's not actually following the steps with the right quality of that. Or if someone is taking longer to execute one specific task, guides can tell you, look, this is an outlier on your statistics, so maybe you need to retrain that person, or maybe the instructions are not clear on that specific step. So guides circle back with adding value for you to actually help you to collect all those informations. Are you good on guides? Let's do now another scenario that we had on that specific scenario. Yep. Yep. So let's do a quick demo of remote assist.
Do you want to do remote assist? Okay.
Yeah. And let me, so what Anna is going to do it, let me actually, adding her password here, which I don't know. So she's already calling me, and actually, while presenting here, I'm a little bit thirsty and trying to figure out how she can help me here. So Anna, can you hear me?
Hi, Marcio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just can't see your remote assist, Anna.
Can you check if he's calling me? Hi, Marcio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just can't see your remote assist. Do you want to call me again? Let me see if she can call me again, because she called me on Teams directly, not on the remote assist. So, but basically the scenario that we saw on that remote assist with the customer is engineers cannot, in critical situations, actually fly or be physically over there, and they can actually use remote assist to assist someone who is present and doesn't have all the expertise. And in other scenarios, that represents like a lot of traveling on that. So I don't know if Anna, we're going to try again. Let me see if I can do a quick demonstration on that. So if she's not calling, just bring her back and we'll demonstrate on the other session. Because for some reason, it's not showing that she doesn't have internet here. So we lost connectivity on her specific laptop. So Anna, if you're listening to me, just come back, because it's not, your computer lost internet connection here.
My Teams has lost, I can see it's got no internet.
Yeah.
So you always need Wi-Fi for the remote expert, because without that, they can't answer the call. But I think in that scenario, I would have been able to call the expert and he would have been able to answer. And we would have talked through a remote scenario where he would guide me through. And the idea of that presentation was really just to show you that, think about mixed reality in your organization doesn't necessarily mean a massive investment from a device perspective. Some of our applications are running on devices that you have in your pocket today and in your company's infrastructure. Should we go to check?
I guess let's go to Robert.
So what we wanted to talk about now is we've discussed some of the scenarios, the guides, remote assist, and I would encourage you guys to go down to the exhibition floor where you can have a full hands-on experience with remote assist and guides. We just wanted to give you a little flavor so it wasn't just us talking. But the next part of the session is really going to introduce ZF. So ZF is an automotive company, which global, and we've got the pleasure of having, as you probably saw earlier, Robert on the phone with us, and he leads the X-Reality innovation team and has done so for a number of years. And so, Robert, I'm going to hand over to you to sort of talk through some of the things that are happening at ZF.
Okay, thank you, Anna. I'm happy to be here, and hopefully the audio is coming through okay.
Yep, audio is good.
Yep, great. ZF is, as Anna said, an automotive supplier. We focus on mobility, and we focus in 4 areas: motion control, safety, mobility, and automated driving. If you want to know more about ZF, you can go to www.zf.com. The focus here is to talk about what we're doing in what we call X-Reality within ZF and our relationship that we've built over the years with the ecosystem.
All right, Robert.
Excellent. So we thought we'd conduct a little interview. Now, get your questions ready, because we've got a few questions for Robert, but we want to offer the floor up to you guys as well to ask him anything. We've prepped him that is part of the session. So Robert, my first question to you is, where did this sort of X Reality initiative come from? Was it something led by the business or through IT?
Yeah, it started within our innovation team. We, back in late 2015, early 2016, saw virtual and augmented reality as an up-and-coming trend to watch. So we started by identifying some people in the organization who were interested, and we did a few small experiments in order to see where we wanted to go, and over the last couple of years, we've built on that.
Awesome, Robert. And how did you bring your program around?
How did you get
started? Oh, right. So sorry, I'm trying to read my script here, Robert. So how did you guys get started?
Yeah, we took a little bit of a different approach to building our team. We looked in the organization for people who had a passion for things like gaming. And we found that we had some folks who actually went home at night and wrote games that they actually sold for smartphones. And we found two of those folks in our Eager Hungary facility that were interested in doing some of that within the organization. Their manager was nice enough to free up some of their time. So we let them explore their passion, and out of that came our first prototype showcase experience. And earlier you mentioned experiences, and we believe that's exactly what they are, because in X reality, mixed reality, you're not just building an app, you're totally immersing the person in a new environment. You're really building an experience. So you don't only worry about what's in front of them, but also what's on the side and what's behind them. So it's a different approach to building these experiences. But when they are successful, it really is a wow factor for the people that use them, and it really does transform how they work.
So you got a few wow factors during your journey there too?
Yep, absolutely. When we show not only the internal things that we've developed, but also the products like Remote Assist, we always walk away with people coming up with new ideas on what we can do, which we put into our bucket of things to work on. And it's really a transformation, because it gets people thinking about how their work will look like in the future. And that's really empowering, because it's really transforming the workplace.
On that topic of sort of transformative experiences then, going a bit left field, but where do you sort of see this technology going in the future for your organization?
Yeah, I see in the next couple of years, and last year at a couple of the conferences, I predicted it to 2 to 3 years, the laptop will go away and will be totally replaced by wearable devices. I believe that the laptop I have now will be the last one, and in the future, when I come to work, I will put on a device like a HoloLens and do all of my work within that environment.
Interesting.
We actually have a little group that meets here in Gainesville once a week called Z Talks, and one of the people in there created a workday of the future, where he envisioned even our shop floor first-line workers coming in, putting on a device, getting their work assignments, and having that device walk them through their day of work and assisting them, much like what you demoed with guides a few minutes ago.
Awesome. So with this sort of exciting transformative technology, how did you guys bring sort of this program? How did you bring a program of innovation to the organization? What did you do?
Yep. We started by introducing the technology through roadshows and demos. And that got a core group of people excited. And then word of mouth, other folks came and said, hey, we want to see this too, and we have an idea about how to use it. And we just built it from there. And it's really, in our environment, of course, each company is different. We found a lot of interest in Remote Assist, and already have had real business benefit from using remote assist to do exactly what you were talking about, to bring those experts in our case, from Germany into helping solve a problem within our factory here in the US, in avoiding travel and having real bottom line savings to the company, not only from avoiding travel expense, but also getting that production line back up faster.
Brilliant.
Because the production line being down is costing us money, and it's also costing our customer money. So it's really helping us in that regard.
Exactly, like increasing uptime of your equipment and your production. And what lessons did you learn on your journey? Any challenges, specifics that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are challenges when you introduce a totally new technology, particularly one that's a totally new ecosystem. The traditional, for example, in this case, the traditional PC is what everybody is used to, but when you bring a mobile-enabled device that you wear, but yet is also running a version of Windows, it's very difficult for people to understand how to integrate that into the environment. So that's been one of our challenges, is getting the devices, not only the HoloLens, but immersive devices also, integrated into our environment where we can develop on them, as well as utilize them just as seamless as we can utilize a laptop in the organization. So don't underestimate the effort required for that, both from a networking point of view as well as from a security point of view. Work through them, and the result will be awesome.
It's a good point. I was actually a few weeks ago working with a customer, interesting to know when you are using remote assist, where the files are located when we exchange files. And we use Teams as a technology behind that. And whatever Teams is compliant from the point of view of security and compliance, the remote assist will follow the same route too, like on that. And that was critical because it was actually a nuclear facility trying to figure out if that would be a safe technology to use on their facility.
I'd like to throw this out to the audience now. Does anyone have any questions for Robert? Any? Great. Okay. So then, Robert, you talked about the sort of future of the workforce being that wearable device. Do you have any other sort of insight or lessons learned that you'd like to share with us before we let you get on with your day?
Yes, and it revolves around people. Look within your organization. You have hidden talent. Find people that are interested in this type of technology, and even if they're not totally able to pick it up and run with it, give them the time, give them the tools in order to learn it, because they know your business. They know what they need in their day-to-day work. So involve the first line workers directly in the projects. Involve people like we found that are gamers on the outside, and let them bring that passion into the organization. When you unleash the passion of your people, awesome things happen, things you don't expect. Look internally and focus on that. It's easy to bring consultants in, but consultants won't be with you long term. Making your people happy, your employees, is a long-term benefit for your organization.
That's a good point. I think we have one question from the audience. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. So actually my company has already deployed HoloLens. Over the last about 18 months, we've deployed it.
Nice.
So what I'm curious, Robert, how are you leveraging the HoloLens? Do you have it in your environment where it's more of one-to-one, or it's being shared amongst many coworkers?
It's actually a really good question. We are working in terms of shareable license and try to cover that scenario. What we are doing at this specific stage is we are listening to all signals from the market and figure out how we need to adapt our offer and then try to accommodate this in the best way that will add value to the market. But that's something that we are looking into.
Definitely. Like in the real world, operationally, that's one of the things. We have cases where it makes sense where it's shared, and then there's cases where it's more of a one-to-one.
Exactly.
Depending on the business case. And what's happening to us is that the uses for it is growing fast as people aren't learning about it.
Yeah,
understand how it works and how it can deliver to the
it's
business.
similar to what Anna was talking at the beginning of the session. Is like there are some customers there, they are really transforming their business, and like we have those, for example, those big tractors that operate in minings, and they're shipping already right now their equipment with piece of IoT that gives information to the customer and how to monitor their own device. And if they have a signal, they can fix that remotely. But now they're seeing the need, and maybe I should ship my big equipment with an offer with a HoloLens, because it would be cheaper for me to have someone remote assist my local customer than send my engineer to fix or provide a maintenance on that specific device. So this is something that we are listening to the market to figure out how is the best way to accommodate those type of scenarios.
And that's exactly what we're using it for, remote assist. I mean, it's saving a whole lot of money. Just what Robert's saying, we're experiencing the same opportunities and leveraging HoloLens for that. So
Yep.
Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yep, thank you.
We have another question from the audience. Do you want to?
No, I just wanted to add to that. So I've been working in manufacturing for, I'm not going to say how many decades, right? But so you're going to have multiple shifts. And you'll have operations or maintenance individuals.
Exactly.
So you'll have someone in the first shift that will, want to leverage the HoloLens for remote assist purposes, pull in the knowledge worker. And then the second shift comes in, and it's a completely different user, but they still want to be able to use the same device.
Yeah, that makes sense. The question was about.
I just want to put an exclamation point. That's
Yeah, I just repeat the question. That's another comment about shift and how to work that. Yes, we are looking into that scenario with cautious on. And sometimes you still need to know who did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
retain the ability to use retinal scan, right?
Correct. Yes. We still need to know who is the persona and who is the person behind the execution of the tasks. Like that. That's what we are trying to accommodate the best license. I think we have one more question there. Yes.
Hi. Curious to know how the mixed reality can be used in the context of the sales.
Sales.
Sales,
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So our product Visualize, which was featured in Satya's keynote yesterday. So the way it works as a quick high level, and we can go into this in a bit more detail later, you have your opportunity record inside Dynamics, and associated to that is a product. Associated to that product is an image, a 3D image. So you would go on site with your customers, open your product Visualize app. You can navigate to the opportunity which you have with that customer, and then based on that opportunity lines with the products associated, you can showcase the different models. From there, you can make notes and annotations that get saved back to the record and pushed out into Teams as well. But that was a super high level. I can take this one offline and share with you some more documentation.
Great. So is it already available in the October release?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
In the October release of D365?
It's in public preview at the moment.
Oh,
Product Visualize, yeah. So you can try it now if you'd like, for sure.
oh, great.
Yeah.
And just one other question.
Yeah, sure.
So at this point in time, in our organization, we have already deployed CRM, the customer engagement, and for several years it's been on. And now we plan to go ahead with finance, the finance app. So
Brilliant.
Okay.
So in that context and the mixed reality, just trying to understand.
I think there is a lot of scenarios where F&O go together with customer engagement, specifically around complex asset management. I think that's a typical scenario, right, where you have the maintenance aspect of asset management on field service and the financial aspect of that asset. Even if yours or your customer asset that you deploy on your customer, this is where the maintenance and the F&O parts go tied together. I think everything related to maintenance of a complex asset has a strong possibility that mixed reality will add value, even with guides or with remote assist or giving that. So.
I'm really sorry, we're running over. We just need to wrap, and you can come and ask us these questions. It's no problem because we're over by a few minutes. So just quick, if you've got any questions, we'll just come up to us at the end. We'll stay here and you can ask them. Just a quick, if you just pop it back on. So there's...
Robert, thank you so much, Robert.
I want to say thank you to Robert. You will obviously be able to download a copy of the deck. There's a couple of next steps on here, all the links to the documentation that you need to get started. But I think the next best thing you guys could do is go down to the show floor and experience these apps for yourself and understand how you could transform your organization with the power of mixed reality. With that, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who supported. Thank you for joining, and hopefully we'll see you down on the exhibition floor.
Thank you.